This is a video update for the group behind Mixmaster C. Well guys, we took Mickey out to his first eventing competition for the year. Obviously he's been out competing already this year down at the World Equestrian Centre. We took him down there show jumping, and he's been doing some show jumping days as well at Bruce's Field here in Aiken. But this is the first sort of dressage show jumping eventing competition for the year, and he was bloody awesome. We only had him in the open prelim. I wanted just to start the year with just a nice, easy, gentle run. And these poor little preliminary horses that he was up against got destroyed in the dressage. Mickey went in there and did a rip-roaring test. He got a score of 23.7, which is pretty awesome. Mickey's been obviously working really, really well in his dressage training. We worked there with Christoph Hess when we were down in Ocala. Silva's trained me a little bit virtual training. She's been in Pennsylvania and I've been down here in Aiken, and actually coming up next week I've got a Grand Prix rider from Australia that rode at the WEG, Brett Parbury. He's going to come into town, and so I'll probably do some work with Brett next week. Last week also was a very productive week of training. Peter Wild was here jumping. We gave Mickey a jump there on Tuesday or Monday, I think we jumped him, and he jumped really, really well. He's been feeling awesome in his training. I mean, I love riding him, and at home he's my type of horse. He's a little bit hot, and he's enthusiastic in his work, and he's hot in a good way. He gets extravagant and big, and in the dressage I've never really felt anything with movement like this. He's got almost a passage gait in his trot, so he was awesome. Obviously, our big goal this year for Mickey is going to be the Badminton Horse Trials. I feel like we should enter him at Kentucky 3-day event as well, just in case there looks like Badminton is horrifically wet or something. We could then slip him into Kentucky. But I think everything's leading towards the Badminton Horse Trials. I think this is the perfect horse for Badminton as well. He's such a great galloper. He's brave as a lion, and I think he's going to, he could potentially do a sensational dressage test, which should match up to anyone in the field. So I think we'd be going to England with our sleeves rolled up, ready to really, really go for it. Between then and now, I just wanted to have this nice, easy, calm, boring preliminary horse trials at Pinetop. Pinetop's a pretty, rustic, remote, primitive event. Obviously, the dressage and show jump you'll see in a minute, it's pretty rough and ready. But the cross-country course is a nice, big, open course, and great footing, and sort of what I wanted for Mickey. It allows you to just sort of practice your smooth riding. So we got this one, and then I think in about 3 or 4 weeks time we'll do the 4-star short there at Carolina. I think we go a little bit quicker. I had 10 time penalties on him today in the prelim, and I think we'll go about that, about 20 or 30 seconds over the time at Carolina. The biggest thing, 2 reasons. I think mentally it's good for Mickey just to not go full blast around the cross country. When it's time to really have a crack at it at Badminton, we want him sort of calm, not too revved up. And then soundness wise, I just think it's so much less trauma on his legs, going just a little bit easier. And that technique sort of served us well at Morven Park. If you remember, he had a great result there at Morven Park at the end of the year last year. The show jumping, I feel like I'm getting more and more in sync with him. The biggest thing I think is trying to, a little bit like the cross country, is not sort of get in an argument with the horse in his mouth. He's quite keen to the jumps, and sort of lightly trying to adjust him away from the jump. I'm not getting it every time, but it's getting better and better. Like I said, Peter was with us earlier in the week, and we had a great jump session. We had a bit of gymnastic work with some bounces, some tall verticals on short distances, just to get him up in the air and it was a really good session. I think Peter was very, very pleased with how Mickey looks. And health-wise, I think Mickey's been trotting up really well. We've sort of had the vets just do some trot-ups with him, and we did one treatment to his hips and his pelvis when we got back from Ocala, and I feel like he responded well, and he's in great shape. He seems very, very happy and pleased with himself every day. So the cross country, so we hit the ball out of the park. We got a 23 in the dressage, clear show jumping, and we were miles in front. Not that I was too worried about the placing or the result here, but we just cruised around the cross country. We had 10.4 time penalties, so it's about 25 seconds over the time. And the biggest thing I'm working on is trying to not sort of get in a pulling match as I come to the jumps. And then sometimes he curls his head up a little bit, so as I'm approaching the jump, I'm trying to lift his nose up. I have to say, in 30 years of riding cross-country courses, this was one of the smoothest, easiest, calmest rounds I've ever ridden. It was just a pleasure to ride. He was mentally in a good place. He wasn't too buzzed up, and we were sort of going slowish, so we never really got strong on me. And we were riding a 5-star horse around a preliminary horse trial, which was very easy. But sometimes with the big time horses, when you do the easier jumps, the jumps aren't quite big enough to back them off. But it was just a lovely, lovely soft round. We had a blast of rain not long before the competition started, so the ground was quite soft and easy. So the footing was very good. I think we've got basically 2 more weeks or 10 more days in Aiken, South Carolina. So my plan is to work a little bit with Brett Parbury in the dressage next week, and then Peter's actually coming up to help me prepare Dallas for the showcase. So we'll give him a light jump towards the end of next week, and maybe give him one long slow canter next weekend. Then I'll probably ship him up to Pennsylvania midweek the following week, and then Silver will ride him in dressage while I'm at Chat Hills with Barley. So we've got it all figured out, and the good thing is once we're back in Pennsylvania, we can start doing the galloping on the big hills, which I think we've got to try and get him a little bit fitter for Babington than what we had him at Malvern Park, and the galloping and the fitness terrain in Pennsylvania is supreme. So we'll get him on the big hills up there, get him galloping, and start rolling our sleeves up to go on, take on the world in England. So fingers crossed, guys, everything is going to plan. Couldn't be more happier with him, and we hit the ball out of the park in the preliminary horse trials at Pine Top, winning the class. So it was a great result.